Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm Naneural, and welcome to the first of many videos that we'll be posting here in our newly launched series called The Principles of Design. The purpose of this series is really to spread knowledge and awareness and to help you understand the fundamentals of design. So I'll be going through different topics like spacing, typography, color theory, and so many more. And I'll be breaking down those topics into easy to digest design bites. So if you did not go to design school like me, then you can think of this as a mini version of that. And if you did, then you will probably just be getting a refresher of many things, but let's be real, you probably have forgotten a lot of things by now. But don't worry, I got you. So without further ado, let's jump into the topic for today, which is the golden ratio. Have you ever looked around outside, maybe while you're on a walk or just casually picking flowers, and noticed any patterns that stand out to you that look cool or really beautiful? Well, that has something to do with the golden ratio. It's the same principles that some of the best mathematicians and designers use, and something that you could even use in your everyday work. But what is it? The golden ratio is a design principle that we see all over in the natural and man-made world. I mean, check it out. You can see this in shells, cathedrals, the Taj Mahal, even Twitter's logo. That's wild, right? By understanding how the golden ratio works, you can not only just see this out in nature, but you can actually use it to help make your designs more balanced and aesthetically pleasing. And that is why I am so excited to talk to you about this today. We are going to cover everything from history to design ideas to tools and even plugins. But before I get into all of that, we're going to take it back a little bit and talk about the story behind the formula. The golden ratio was derived from a pattern called the Fibonacci sequence. Back in 1202 AD, a man by the name of Leonardo Fibonacci had a manuscript on arithmetic, and this pattern was described in one of the chapters. Now, he explained a lot in this manuscript, okay? But this particular pattern happened to hold so much power. And if you do not know what the Fibonacci sequence is, no worries, I got you. So the pattern starts with a 0 and a 1, and the next number in the sequence is just the sum of the previous two numbers. So in this case, 0, 1, and then another 1, and then it goes all the way through to infinity, basically. But that's how it works. You might be saying to yourself, okay, that's nice, but what does that even have to do with my work or the golden ratio? Well, if you continue following the pattern, the ratio of the Fibonacci numbers converges to 1.618, blah, 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 all the way to infinity, otherwise known as phi, and that is the golden ratio. In ancient Greece, they actually used this principle on proportion to influence the spacing and planning of their architecture because they found that this was way better looking than just plain old symmetry. And this is the type of thing that we may have to take into account when we're thinking about our thought process in our work. So understanding the golden ratio and how it can apply to our spacing and our visual designs can help to make what we make more appealing. So let's check out this painting by Georges Seurat so we can break this down a little bit more. You can actually see the golden ratio at work all over this thing. For starters, the entire painting follows the golden rectangle principle, so its dimensions are 1 by 1.618. Within this golden rectangle that we've formed, let's add a square. So if we draw a line to make a perfect square, we have two shapes. We have the square, and then we have the leftover space. And it just so happens that that leftover space actually forms another golden rectangle. And that's what makes this principle so unique. In fact, we can take this a step further. So if we continue to draw a perfect square in this leftover space, that is the golden rectangle, we get another golden rectangle in the leftover space, and we can continue to do that basically until infinity. Mind blown. And we're not even done yet. Let's take this a step further. So if we run a curved line, essentially the corner of a perfect circle, through each of the squares that we created, the golden spiral is formed, and this is what you see in nature, art, and architecture. Think of the outer arc as the line to follow. The main things in focus should be within the spiral, and they should follow the arc as it widens. Notice how all the main subjects are within the curve? That's the golden spiral at work. But if we take an even closer look, we can see the golden ratio applied all over the place in this painting, and not just in the dimensions. The best part about the golden ratio is that we can see it in nature too. Take a rose, for example. I think we can all agree that it's a beautiful piece of work that nature has given us. And if we look closely, we can see that it follows the golden spiral too. So starting at the center and then slowly moving out as the spiral widens. And roses are not the only place we see this. Check out this nautilus shell. It also follows the golden ratio. In fact, so many things do, and eventually you'll probably start to see it everywhere. I mean, it's even in our own galaxy. But why should we care in a neural? Like, what's the point? Well, maybe you want to use the golden ratio principles in art. Or maybe you just want to understand one of the most powerful concepts in nature. Or maybe you just want to apply these principles to your work so that you can level up your visual designs. So that is where Figma comes in. Let's go ahead and go into some examples about how we can actually apply the golden ratio to your designs, starting with typography. Typography is more than just beautiful fonts. It's actually a key component to strong UI because it helps us create visual hierarchy and balance. But sometimes it's not 100% clear on what font sizes to use in our designs, so how do we actually figure this out? Well, the golden ratio can help us here. Think back to 1.618, or phi. This ratio is a guiding principle for establishing really nice looking font hierarchies. So, for example, if I wanted the body of my text to be font size 12, then I can multiply that by 1.618 or phi and get a really visually pleasing header, which comes out to around font size 20. But who wants to multiply their font size by phi every single time they need a nice looking header? Not me, and I'm guessing not you either, which is why we have a plugin for that. There's a plugin called Font Scale that can help us with this, and it is linked in the description. With this plugin, it's basically a font calculator that takes the golden ratio principles into account. And thank goodness this plugin is actually pretty simple to use. All you need to do is right-click, select your base pixel size, which is the size you want your body text to be, and then select golden ratio. And voila, your text is beautiful. So the next time you're building a design system, using this font calculator can help to establish a typography foundation that will look stunning. Using the golden ratio in typography is not the only way we can employ this principle in our designs. Another example of how we can use the golden ratio is with logo creation. And I'm sure we're all well aware of how important and significant it is to have a recognizable logo. So let's dive in a little bit deeper on how the golden ratio applies here. Remember the squares we drew in the Fibonacci rectangles not too long ago? Well, imagine drawing perfect circles in each one of those. Those circles will have proportions that will help to dictate the arcs and angles that we create in our logos. They also represent the golden ratio through the Fibonacci sequence. So let's take Apple's logo and Twitter and Pepsi. We can overlay these circles onto them, so clearly these logos were not created randomly or just like drawn by hand and thrown together. And the last example I have for you when it comes to applying the golden ratio in our work is in web design. So just like in Sarat's painting that we were talking about a little while ago, how we could see the golden spiral basically applied everywhere, we can also see the golden spiral here on this landing page. With this in mind, just imagine how many more ways we can think about applying this principle to spacing, composition, layout. It's endless and it's pretty cool. And that is it for the golden ratio. I hope this was helpful, and I also hope that it got you thinking about different ways that you can apply this to your own work. We're going to be talking about a lot in this series, but we also want to know what you want to know about. So if you do have any suggestions or things that you want to see, please feel free to leave us a comment below. There are a few resources that we've linked to in the description below for you to take advantage of, including a Figma file that outlines how to use the golden ratio and the golden spiral in your actual designs, and the font scale plugin that we talked about before with typography, and also a few other design principle resources that you can dig deeper into. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more design content. See you next time.